Hey guys, welcome to another session of FFBE Global News. So this week we have Final Fantasy 15, Ignis and Ravis and Libertas in our banner. We're gonna talk about their kits a bit, and I'm not gonna go too in depth for Ignis. There's a lot of the stuff that he does well. You might want to choose him over someone like Nicole or Zargaboth or any other support unit at certain times, and we're gonna get into it. First things first is that yeah, of course it's coming this week, but I believe this is a new thing. I don't think JP did this. At least I have no recollection that they did this, but basically it's kind of like the second anniversary FFBE coin thing, where you basically pull 5k lapis, so 25,000 lapis. You get 5 tickets for each one ticket for each 5k lapis pulled. You need 5 tickets, so 25,000 lapis spent in order to get one of these tickets. 5 tickets, which will summon 1 free unit, but it's a free unit of, as you can see here, consisting of the 6 existing FF15 5-star base units. So this could be good or bad. Now the benefits of doing this is that at least you can get a rainbow after spending 25,000 lapis. So if you're really wanting to pull for Ignis and maybe even Ravis's TMR or Ravis, I don't know, you guys can correct my pronunciation again, but if you're really like wanting Ignis, yeah, I mean, this is a bonus. You get a free 5-star guaranteed at the very end of 25,000 lapis. Now I will say this though, that this is nowhere near as good as a step-up banner. Step-up banners, at least you get the one you want from the banner. Okay, so even step-up banners are, most of them, they're split banners between 2, but at least you are guaranteed either one or the other split 5-star unit, or if you're pulling twice, you're pulling 50,000. You get guaranteed at least one, a 7-star or one or the other. So at 50,000, at least you can nab yourself one of the 7 stars from the banner itself, or have both, right? That's minimum. That's worst case scenario. Now this will not guarantee you Ignis at all. So if you have the worst luck ever, 25,000 lapis spent, you have no Ignis, you get potentially, okay, and no rainbow potentially too, because remember, 25,000 lapis step-ups, there's a guaranteed rainbow on the 3rd step, so 15,000 lapis, then you get a free rainbow. Now this is a different type of dynamic, different type of dimension. 25,000 lapis spent, you may or may not get Ignis. You can get one random existing 6 FF15 units. So let me list off the top of my head, at least from my recollection. I might be missing one. If I am, you guys can correct me, I don't mind. We have Gladiolus, we have Aranea, we have Prompto, we have Noctis, we have Nyx. I count 5 there. I may be missing something. So if this includes the one that says will consist only of the 6 existing FF5-star base units, I think it might mean Ignis as well as the 6th. So again, like I said, this could be good if you were waiting to pull for Noctis. So I know like a couple members on my Discord server, so like Bad Scylla, and shout out to you, bro. They're waiting for their Noctis or second Noctis. I don't know if this is the way to go though, to be honest. I mean, the chances are really low. But if you're planning to pull for Ignis anyways, and you wanted him at a 7-star, obviously I think that this is a good deal. And I would say, let's say you get Ignis, 2 of them, by 15,000 lapis. I would say if you have the lapis, try to get this ticket anyways. At least you get a free rainbow guaranteed at the end, and who knows, maybe you can get 3 Ignis, maybe even 4, maybe a super trust mastery out of it. And we're gonna talk about it as well, his super trust mastery, his trust mastery, and some of the uses for him. So that's my thoughts on this. I mean, this is quite complex. It makes me think of whether or not I should pull it. But in my opinion, if you are not pulling for Ignis, if you don't really care for Ignis, I would say just skip this banner entirely. Don't be baited by this. It could return really salty. I'm one Gladiolus away from an STMR, which is like one of the best tank STMRs, which is like 50 HP, some like defense and spear or something like that. 50% HP rather. You know, I could use another Prompto, Aeronia, I don't mind. Noctis one more for an STMR, but I'm not really waiting for his STMR. Who else? Nyx, I just got his STMR, so I don't know. I think this might be a skippable banner for me. Now, Ignis, like the whole hype with him is that he is a good supporter for running Hyo teams. The reason is most of you guys, if most of you guys have Hyo's STMR, or sorry, Cloud's STMR for Hyo later, you might want Ignis. You might consider it. The reason is why Ignis is he can dual cast imbues at 7-star, and he can imbue fire, ice, or lightning, which 2 of them are already one of the major elements that Hyo can imperil anyway. But I have mentioned this before that you know, does it outweigh, you know, in some circumstances you might not be able to run this dream team. As most of you guys are probably already figured that a lot of trials going forward, it's really hard to fit in your dream team. Rather, you have to actually bring in a couple niche units. You always have your base ones, like maybe like Awakened Rain or some crazy tank, and maybe a healer here or there. But for support, sometimes you have to run Zargabot, sometimes it's better to run Nicole, sometimes it might be better to run Ignis, and then if you run Ignis, will he be able to have turns where he can imbue effectively, and will using Cloud's STMR with the higher damage variance and higher attack actually be beneficial in that trial? For example, let's say if that trial like mitigates damage like half the time, physical damage, you know, would it even matter? This stuff like that really should be considered if you have a limited budget and you're considering, hey man, I'm gonna pull for Ignis because I want my Hyo to be really awesome. That kind of stuff should be considered. I think I can get more in depth, but Ignis is no small fry support. I would say that I don't like him as much because most of the stuff that he brings is over time. Now, like, so MP recover over time, HP recover over time, that's all good, but sometimes you want like immediate MP, immediate HP, even though technically Nicole doesn't really have that. He has a 200% LB fill rate. I'm not doing this in any particular order, guys. I'm just reading out a couple things that I find notable. 50% all recover 80 MP instant, actually. So sorry, I take that back. Instant 80 MP AOE, 50% all elements. I believe these are all dual castable skills. I believe so. Again, like I said, his dual cast comes at 7-star, so he's more pricey, whereas Nicole could dual cast at 6-star. Both Nicoles now, Seaside Nicole and Maritime Strategist Nicole. Yeah, he has a couple damaging skills himself. It's okay. His TMR, I would have to say, would be something to be noted for. I would even consider just getting him just for one of his TMRs. Now, his TMR is like a really good, I would say like a different side of Riku's pouch, but one that's definitely needed, I think. Get into that in a bit. Yes, like I said, he can imbue 3 elements, add fire to 1 ally for 3 turns, add ice and add lightning. Ice could be really good if you're considering like someone like a team comp with Fravia. Fravia enhanced Frost Flower Blitz chains perfectly with Hyo. And again, like I said, if Hyo doesn't have a great ice large sword, which there isn't one currently, then you can imbue it to like Cloud's STMR, which is really nice. For 3 turns, it lasts enough that Ignis can fit that imbue into rotation while still supporting the rest of your team. Of course, he has the regular like 30% damage mitigation, a lot of good stuff. So yes, at 7-star, he becomes a pretty good support unit, and at 6-star, he just lacks a bit. Like at 6-star, it's like he's not unlocked, and at 7-star, he becomes good. But whereas Nicole gets like really good at 6-star, and at a 7-star, he doesn't increase that much. But again, like I said, everything is like different niche, so every single unit has a uniqueness to them that you could possibly potentially build off of. The Super Trust Master reward is Zwol Crossblade FF15. Now we already have 2 Zwol Crossblades in FFBE, so that's why they have to label it with FF15. Attack 145 and Magic 145. This might be good for someone like Malphase, who recently came out. Dual wield her fist and maybe this dagger. I would have to play around with the what's it called, the calculator or the builder, and to see if this is the best in slot. But I'm pretty sure right off the top of my head it might be the best in slot if you're going for a balanced attack and magic. And of course you run this in item world when daggers come back, and potentially you could get high tide for it too, because I think Malphase really benefits from her using her LB. If I remember correctly, that's how she works. User LB unlocked like higher mods or something like that and better skills. Ignis' food node, so the recipes. This is a really good one. So enable prime Garula rib, enable meat and beet bouillon, enable memory lane pastry. So I'm gonna read the stats out here. I mean, it's really good. Like I said, this is not linked just for him, so any unit that has this in accessory slot, so it's Riku's pouch replacement pretty much, can use this stuff. So it's a AoE 2000 HP heal with a 2x mod. Okay, so that's pretty good. So on average you might be able to heal, depends on the unit, might be able to heal like about like 2000, at least minimum 2000, 2300 ish, 2400. And has an AoE 100% defense buff for 3 turns, so it's pretty nice to have around. If you don't have like Nicole, remove defense debuff as well. That's pretty good. That's pretty good actually. It costs 52 MP. Meat and beet bouillon is AoE recover 20 MP. And then AoE recover HP. Oh, sorry, AoE 100 MP over 3 turns. So you're getting about a 33%. It's a 0x mod though to the heal over time. So you're getting about like 33.3%, 34 MP per 3 turns. But you get a 20 MP right off the top of the, right away. Now this is why I think that this could be a good replacement for Riku's pouch, is mostly for the MP part. You basically, anyone that has this Ignis food notes becomes an MP battery. Like 20 MP on the turn you use it is pretty good, and then after your turn ends you get about 30 MP, so that's 50 MP in 1 turn. And then for the next 3 turns at least you don't have to really worry about it. And then of course you can keep spamming it depending on which unit is using this, and it depends on the rotation you have set for that unit. But otherwise it's all around really good. The other one is let's see, AoE buff for magic and spirit for 3 turns, 100% LB fill rate for 3 turns as well. So it kind of is like Riku's pouch. Riku's pouch has eccentric, which is 200% LB, has chaos grenade for 30% breaks, like all break, and then has panacea, I think that's how you pronounce it, which removes all status ailments, which is really good. So I can imagine, like, if you don't have like Nicole or something, and you have like 2, let's say you have a team comp where maybe you have a CG lid, and you have maybe someone else, maybe Zargaboth, let's say, and maybe you can have one with each, so like one with Riku's pouch, one with Ignis food notes. I don't know, Zargaboth might be a bad example, but you get what I mean. Or it could be in one unit, both accessories on it. That unit, whoever it would be, could be like an awesome like support unit. So I can imagine these 2 accessories could go on someone like Ramza as well, like Mercenary Ramza. So he could be a tanker by day but support by night, which is really nice. And he already has like Isunaga, he already has Raise, he already has heals like Kuraga. So I mean, he could benefit from just this. It's really nice. He becomes an MP battery on off turns because he has 3-turn cover, 3-turn provoke. So it's a lot of stuff that can definitely help here. And 100% buffs are not, it's not small at all. I mean, this is the best, I would say, best Trustmaster reward that gives you buffs. That's kind of like not part of the actual units kit, so that's really good. We kind of talked about all this stuff, so I'm gonna kind of skip. We didn't go through all of Ignis's kit, but definitely check it out. A lot of stuff that he has to have access to is also behind an unlock ability, so he has to actually unlock, kind of like Riku, where you have to do that that meditation thing, whatever, and then it opens up some skills. So that's another reason why Ignis is harder to use. So not only is a lot of the stuff locked behind, a lot of the stuff I read, like instant MP recover and HP and stuff split over time, and the what's it called, the imbues. Not only is it locked behind this skill, you also need to have it at 7-star to be able to dual cast it. So that's one of the reasons why I'd say he's kind of hard to use in my opinion. But again, that is just my opinion. Ravis, we're just gonna really quickly take a look at the Trustmaster. We're just gonna skip here. He's no game-changing 4-star unit. But Trustmaster reward, keeping back the dark, boost attack by 40 and then dark resistance by 50%. If you're pulling on this banner, obviously I think getting a couple Ravis and getting multiples of them would be good. The attack 40 is right now, it's not as relevant as in if you got Orochi and you got Fidel from the Star Ocean collab. These two in the past 2 collabs, if you've gotten 1 or 2 of them, you may have gotten their TMR from the raid summons, their Mughals. So the attack 40 is not the big deal, but the 50% dark resistance, that's a pretty good one to have. And especially if you're like, you know, building up your damage dealers and you need like a full party dark resist team, having this TMR is really good, because then at least you don't have to have two slots, one used for the dark resistance, one used for the attack passive, but you get them combined. So there's definitely uses for this. I would definitely say if I do get him, I don't even know, again, like I said, if I'm pulling on this, but yeah, if I do get him later on, maybe off banner, I will most likely get this TMR as one of my higher priorities. And as you guys have seen a theme here, I'm always saying that elemental resistance is one of the best things to have. Libertas, I won't even talk about him. Really, his Trustmaster reward is okay, especially for a newer player. It's not as good anymore if you know, you have a couple 4-star, 5-star TMRs, and maybe even some just trial rewards. I mean, it's not fantastic, but it's not bad to have, I guess. It's 3-star though, 3-star. And we have our event. This week is a King Mog event, the Heart of a King. Final Fantasy 15, as you can see, we have a obtained 5-star select summon ticket. I think it's 1 again. So I think how Global is gonna compensate for the 2 5-star, or rather the Trust UOC tickets, like in JP. I think they're just gonna spread it out in our events. Now we're 100% sure that we're gonna get them in. We got them in our raid this week, and we're gonna get them here. So I think it's gonna be limited to just 1. I think it's going to be, but we'll have to see once we actually get the event. Magic flask are dropped, so that's the King Mog currency. We got fireproof aspiration, waterproof aspiration. If they are 20% abilities there or higher, definitely pick them up. They're gonna be useful. The good Chamberlain, magic and spirit by 20, enables Chamberlain expertise, chance of restoring HP for all allies when receiving physical attack or magic attack. It's kind of nice. I kind of like these counter kind of things. It might be useful for like, say, an evasion tank. Alright, so evasion, cover tank, provoke tank, what you have it. If they have this on, it might just be like free heals for everyone, so it could save your healer some time and some turns. That's really nice to have. Ignis's Cane, not spectacular, very low. I would say, I don't know, I might not even trade for this. There's no special ability on it, no killers, no skills, no elemental. It's a stave, but it's just an extremely weak stave. 54 spirit, 36 magic. Yeah, I probably wouldn't trade for this. And again, if you're a new player, all this will benefit you for, so definitely get it. It might not cost even that much, so I definitely get it. Let's see here. You can exchange items for 4-star guarantee tickets, 5% trust moves. Yes, like usual. So obtain your select summon ticket here. So we had to trade for it. So make sure you farm it. So another thing is that in this event, like of course you get our bonuses here. They're not hard. In this event, we have the rest of the FF15 units as bonus units too. So even if you decide to save on this banner, like myself, you could definitely use these units in the past. Now the only thing is, obviously, out of the FF15 units, only Nyx has a 7-star right now. Minus Ignis, of course. So you get 100%. That's not bad. It's not bad. And the rest give you 50%. What's good about this is that at least, most likely, these units of yours, these past FF15 units of yours, are already leveled up. So if you're gonna go budget like me, there's no problem taking on a legend. Because most of your units will probably be too OP for legend anyway, so this might be a good way to go here. I'm still thinking right now, like, I mean, having Ravis at 75% is still a big boost, especially I only have one 7-star Nyx here, because I fused them into SDMR, so I only have a 100%. So if I run like Noctis, Gladiolus, Arania, and Prompto, I've got my full team there, but it's not going to add up too much, so Ravis could still be a benefit. I don't know, I'll have to see. And of course Libertas, I mean, Libertas is a 50% right there. But I probably wouldn't run him if I'm running a budget team. Interesting. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Anyways, have fun in this event. And to end off our raid this week, we have our challenge event. So, Hasiko's Revenge. So Hasiko here. Light element is effective against her. Bring magic attackers if possible. If you have a tough time, if you don't, build up your resistance against stone. So it seems that it's all the necessary requirements like in the raid. I mean, if you haven't one-shot her in the raid, you know that she like MP drains your entire team, sets one unit to berserk, so you're uncontrollable for that one turn, or 2 turns rather, if you could dispel it on that following turn. Like resistance to physical, and also resistance to most elements. Now I don't know, because this is a challenge event, she might have more like elemental resistance for the other ones, but previously I think it was only 10% resistance if I remember correctly. 10% resistance to everything else, and weak 30% to light weakness. Just listen to the little Moogle here. Most likely, depending on how much HP and depending on the missions, let's see the missions here. No limit burst, perfect. No items, and an evoking Esper. Oof. Alright, the evoking Esper part is probably the most annoying. Most likely run a FF type 0 unit right off the bat. Do it. Sacrifice, evoke an Esper, and then just maybe one-shot KO with TT. I think that might be the easiest way. Otherwise, like the Moogle said, you at least have to build up your stone resistance. If in that case, I would probably do someone like Mystia. If you don't have all like full team ribbons or discernment, etc. If you don't have full team status ailment resistant gear, just bring someone like Rain or Mystia, 7-star Rain or Mystia. Just clear veil the entire team on turn 1, and maybe have a provoke tank for the berserk, and then you're set up for most of the battle. Yeah, that's at least my thoughts on it. I don't know, maybe there's a different aspect to it. I've been thrown off by some of these challenges lately. But Cursed Yari is interesting. Dark Elemental Spear, but inflicts stone though. So, and enables Deadly Thrust, which damage and drain MP from an enemy. Very fitting as a weapon to get from this boss, because all the stuff is pretty much what she does. Yeah, 2 rare summon tickets for the no item. So yeah, that's actually pretty easy. I think I will go with that tactic unless she can outlive TT's quad cast. I'll probably just have a separate fire impaler on the outside to just ensure that one-shot kill. Anyways, that's my thoughts on this. And apparently we get free daily summons, but it seems that it's only for 1 week. So from this coming Friday to next Friday, we get rare summons. So make sure you log in every day on the reset so you don't miss it. All right, don't miss a day, guys, and then get your summons here. Now, this was in the news, Scorn of the Marching Beasts, or aka Parade of the Possessed, where it was known before, I think, in the original. It was originally supposed to land this week, tomorrow, but now they updated it, that this is on the 18th, so I think it's next week. So, or was it maybe not even next week? It's, no, it's the week after, so two weeks later, so it was a mistake. So don't, make sure you read this starting from October 18th, right? So don't expect this on day 1. The Mad Doll, Calcabrina. So this was interesting because when I was on JP, I remember she came, or I don't know if it's he, this doll, it came a lot later. But that was also because I was referencing what 7 stars were released at that time. And we do know that JP is way ahead of the 7-star releases, so we are getting trials a bit earlier. But someone has pointed out on my Discord server that, but Jagan, you know, like we're way behind on 10-man trials on global. And I take a look at the schedule, and yes, we are. And I'm not quite sure why the difference in the schedules. Like I don't mind it, it's fine, but it's more of, I don't know if they're doing it just because like we're a different game and then therefore they're going really off, or they just find it really beneficial to have these trials early so you ham on units, because these trials are relatively difficult. I mean, the new Marlboro one at Enola was really hard when released. It's because of the limited 7-star units that we have. Another thing, I mean, I can most likely mention this in a Theorycraft video of why we have a slower batch, and I personally think that is because we have STMRs earlier than JP. So JP didn't get STMRs too much later. I think it was because they were working out the feature, how the 7 stars were to be, and you know, I think originally like someone told me like originally the plan was like you had to have like 8 of the same units to get an STMR or something like that, like something really ridiculous, and then they had to like rework it or whatnot. And so I think one of the reasons why we're getting some trials earlier is because one, most likely, potentially, we're going to get some more GLEX trials, so global exclusive trials, so like the Torturous Trio, but even though that's like a mishmash of just a lot of trials, we might get stuff like that coming down the line, like a little boss rush, mini boss rush kind of stuff. And then the other reason I think it is like I said, because of the delayed 7 stars, but then they're kind of like overpowered with STMRs, depending on the type of player you are or the luck you have. It kind of balances out. So Calcabrina isn't a difficult trial if you really understand the mechanics, and I will get to it. I did beat this on JP, but I did a one-shot kill pretty much with Xenogear units, so there was a lot for me to learn. So I had to kind of do some JP research again, just yesterday. Run it a couple times with a mock team that's similar to what I would run on global, and without understanding it fully, you get wrecked. but once you understand the mechanics, it's not hard at all. It would be, I think, a lot easier than Marlboro trial, the new Marlboro. So if you found Marlboro easy, this one will be just a breeze for you. But anyways, let's take a look. So yes, the Calcabrina doll hitting with particular elements will affect its actions. Kupo, watch out for its counterattacks. Yes, counterattacks are the big one. I'm gonna leave you guys with a surprise for those of you who don't know. But I think a lot of you guys are most likely looking at the JP video, or even have played JP yourself, so you really know what to expect. There is a case where Calcabrina, the big doll, as is phase 2, or round 2, if you don't kill it quick enough, it summons a lot of ads, and the ads are really annoying to kill. I would say this though, that perhaps Malphasey, if you pulled her, will be the MVP for this one. So congrats if you pulled her 7-star and put her to use, because I think she'll shine. I think she'll shine for this trial specifically. These guys are demons, half demon, half spirit. So demon killer aspect is really good. So make sure you bring demon killer or spirit killer, physical or magical, depending on which route you go. Let's see here. For the elite difficulty, these are what the rewards are. You get a cursed doll as an accessory, 50 magic. It's really good because a lot of people right now, they're trying to deck out their TTs, and they're like, oh man, I want a White Knight Noel, you know, TMR. I wanted a Christine's TMR, but they never pulled those units, which the benefit is the 50 magic. Here you get a free one. So if you beat this, you get one, and you get an ice resistance with 30%. It's not bad at all. I think like that's as good as White Knight Noel's TMR, I think. And it reduced confusion resistance by 50%. That itself is not that great, but still good. The magic and the ice resistance. Lapis for completing the quest. Evoke an Esper. Now this is going to be the annoying part. So phase 1, you have to fight, I think, six dolls. So 6 little mini dolls. And they don't drop LB crystals or Esper orbs. So either you have to go with an Evoker that fills it, type 0 unit that sacrifices themselves for the Esper gauge, or you have to do it all on phase 2, which is the harder one to do. So depending on which way you go. And another way is to... Oh yeah. One thing is that the mini dolls don't drop LB crystals and don't drop orbs. So you also, if you want to use your LBs, make sure you have a LB fill per turn instead of LB fill rate. You're just not gonna get much LB out of LB fill rate gear at this point. Let's see, get a chain of 6 or more in 1 turn. This will be no problem. This is pretty much comes free. You will have to chain if you want to beat this. If you don't chain, you won't beat this. I don't think you can beat this. Let's see here. Reduce ice resistance. Chance of blinding, paralyzing, confusing, petrifying all enemies. Sort of good. It depends on the ice imperil. I'm not quite sure off the top of my head how much it reduces, but it could come in handy. And then the rest, the status ailments part, is most likely useful for arena maybe. Deal fire, water, earth, and light damage to an enemy. Now this will bring a different type of aspect to the game. Just make sure someone may be dual wielding 2 elements, and maybe make sure some of your main damage dealers are dealing some of those elements, and have a couple espers with like off magic turns or whatever, just, you know, stone or fire, etc. from Ifrit and Golem to do some of that stuff. Dancing doll, magic 30 with a magic damage against humans, so it's a 50% magic man-eater. Again, really good because a magic man-eater will very welcome to offset all the physical man-eaters that we have from weapons and abilities. So anyways, this is it for this trial. So that is it for the news, guys. So FF15 banner, will you be pulling on it? Let me know in the comments below, and definitely do your research on whether or not these units are good. Now, like I said, Ignis is a good unit, but locked behind 7-star and locked behind an unlock skill, so a linked skill. Otherwise, he is solid. He's just as good as Nicole. It's just that he's harder to use, harder to set up right off the bat. Now, his imbue is probably the main thing I would say, but that's just my thoughts on it. And I myself, I have no idea whether or not I want to pull on this. We're so close to Halloween. I really want to save and hoard up for Halloween units, and I really think that I could live with outside imperil from another source, or even yeah, I have my plans. So yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Now I'm gonna end this news video here. If you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully this has been helpful, and I'll see you next time.